The reason you are here on Earth is to fulfill your destiny. It's what you were intended to do. Since it is what directs you, it is therefore vitally crucial to understand. You are lost if you have no purpose. There isn't a North Star for you. Your existence will seem pointless. Thus, in today's discussion, we will go into Carl Jung's theory of purpose discovery. While writing the Red Book, which is presently regarded as his magnum opus, Jung came to understand the meaning of his own life. He did not, however, merely realize what his own life was all about. He also learned the source of our collective mission. Furthermore, according to what I understand of the Red Book, Jung asserts that deliberate self-sacrifice is the path to finding your purpose. For what would you give yourself up voluntarily? This indicates that your purpose is located in the thing you would happily suffer for, not in money, a car, clothes, status, or any other self-serving pleasure. Serving something bigger and more worthwhile than yourself is what you should be doing. But what if everything that exists is equal to or more valuable than you? At that point, life will seem pointless and empty to you. There's a modern saying that says all life has to offer is taxes and death. What does that signify, too? It implies that we must all make sacrifices in order to live. Taxes and death are two examples of self-sacrifice. Every life is intended to be given up in some fashion. Without making self-sacrificing decisions, we will not be able to escape this existence. In some sense, what we eat is a sacrifice for our own survival. You ultimately devote all of your life power to yourself if you have nothing more important to sacrifice than yourself. But all the effort you put into bettering yourself is ultimately in vain, since you will ultimately have to give up something. Therefore, if all of your effort is going to be in vain, your life has no purpose. Without a higher power or purpose beyond yourself, life merely ends up being a pointless and painful struggle. However, pain takes on meaning when you discover something to which you are willing to give your life, sacrifice yourself for, and serve. At that point, suffering ceases to be suffering, as recognized by both Viktor Frankl and Friedrich Nietzsche. And when you see it, you know this notion to be real. You usually assume that someone has found their calling in life if you witness them being willing to give up all for something bigger than themselves. Socrates had an opportunity to flee and escape from his people's prison. However, he gave his life voluntarily in defense of honor, justice, and the truth. He felt that by giving up his own life, he was doing what was required to support Athens, his city. Jesus gave his life voluntarily to save humanity, and as a last resort against Caesar's tyranny, Cato, who in some ways is comparable to the Roman Socrates, gave his life because he would not serve under a tyrant. He gave his life in defense of the ideals of freedom and liberty. Whatever your opinion may be of these three names, one thing is certain: each of these guys had a role. They had a task to complete. You know that because each of them discovered something greater than themselves, something they believed was worth risking their lives to achieve. However, we don't have to look far back in history to find individuals who felt that their sacrifices were worthwhile. This occurs on a daily basis. Mothers, missionaries, police officers, activists, and soldiers all make selfless sacrifices for their families, children, and freedom. People rediscover their purpose every day when they find something worth dedicating themselves for. What then does it mean to apply the principle of voluntary self-sacrifice, as taught by Carl Jung, to our own lives? We can choose to live day by day and commit to helping others in a manner that we would be willing to do. We can help others in a way that makes us pleased to wake up every day, and in a way that we would like to serve them. Since we would eventually be compelled to, we can design something for which we would be ready to give our all. That's what life expects of each of us. However, if you fail to find your calling in life, your existence becomes into a forced sacrifice, and people view forced sacrifices as oppressive and despotic. Life will begin to seem like a terrible evil to you. However, when you find your calling in life, your existence becomes a voluntary offering. Furthermore, it is often believed that a mother's voluntary sacrifice for her kid has immense significance. Finding your mission will therefore make life seem really wonderful and meaningful to you. I'll ask it again. For what would you gladly give up your life? That's where your purpose lies. Thank you for watching.